Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast. Presented by Stephanie Williams and Greg Lewis.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been making waves, and it's a little, well, unusual. We're talking about Trump coin.
Trump coin?
Yes, really. A cryptocurrency directly tied to former president and now twice elected president Donald Trump.
I have to admit, it's not what I expected to be discussing.
Right. It's a fascinating intersection of finance, politics, and internet culture.
And it raises a lot of questions.
Absolutely. For starters, just a few years ago, Trump himself called cryptocurrency a scam.
Yeah. Now he's embracing it, even using it as a campaign tool.
And now he's launched his own coin.
It definitely seems like a pretty big shift in perspective.
So what's the story here?
Well, during the 2024 campaign, we saw a change in Trump's stance on crypto.
Yeah, he started accepting Bitcoin donations.
Right, and talking about the U.S. leading the crypto sector.
Was this a genuine change of heart, or was it more of a calculated move?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's certainly worth considering.
Yeah, maybe he saw the growing influence of the crypto community.
Especially among younger voters and tech-savvy individuals.
Perhaps embracing crypto was a way to appeal to that audience.
And potentially tap into a new source of funding.
And then, just this month, shortly after his second inauguration,
Trump Coin, or Trump P as it's traded, was officially launched.
It debuted on January 17th on the Solana blockchain.
With an initial supply of 200 million tokens.
There's a catch.
The remaining 800 million tokens are being held by two Trump-owned companies. So the release of the remaining Trump coin is being controlled.
Spread out over the next 3 years.
What's the strategy behind that?
Well, it likely serves a few purposes.
Okay, like what?
For one, it could be a way to manage volatility in the market.
Memecoins are notorious for their price swings.
Exactly. By controlling the supply, they might be trying to create a more stable environment for Trump coin.
Interesting. Anything else?
It could also be a way to create a sense of scarcity.
You know, the classic limited edition approach.
Which often drives up demand and value.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So how is Trump coin performing so far?
It's seen a massive surge in value since its launch.
Seriously?
Yeah, exceeding a $5 billion market cap shortly after it debuted.
That's incredible.
It really highlights the power of the Trump brand, even in the unpredictable world of cryptocurrency.
And it's not just Trump coin.
Melania Trump also launched her own coin, Melania,
which reached a $2 billion market cap.
There definitely seems to be a connection between the Trump brand and the crypto community.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, is it?
No, there are some serious ethical concerns to consider.
We're talking about a sitting president profiting from a cryptocurrency.
A cryptocurrency that he could potentially influence through policy decisions.
That's a major conflict of interest.
Critics are already raising concerns about this.
And the timing of the launch doesn't help.
Right before his second inauguration.
It does make you question his priorities.
And whether he might be leveraging his position for personal gain.
So how do you actually acquire Trump coin? I'm guessing it's not as simple as going to your bank.
You're right, it's a bit more involved.
Okay, walk me through it.
You need to purchase a stable coin, like Tether or USD coin, on a major cryptocurrency exchange.
Like Coinbase or Binance, for example.
Exactly. And then you'd use that stable coin to trade for Trump coin on platforms that list it.
Like KuCoin, OKX, or BitGet.
It's definitely not the most user-friendly process for newcomers.
There's a learning curve involved.
Absolutely. But it's an interesting world to explore.
So we have a former president turned crypto enthusiast.
Launching a meme coin that's reached a multi-billion-dollar market cap.
All while raising some serious ethical questions. What does this mean for the future of cryptocurrency? For politics? For global finance?
That's the big question, and one we'll need to unpack carefully. The emergence of Trump coin really does open up a whole Pandora's box of possibilities, and some could be positive, but others could be very concerning.
Yeah, like what about the idea of a cryptoization of politics? Could we see more leaders launching their own coins?
It's not impossible.
I mean, think about it. They could use it to engage voters, fund campaigns, even exert influence in new ways.
It's certainly a thought-provoking concept.
So let's say that does happen. What kind of impact could that have on a global scale?
Well, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, really.
How so?
On the one hand, you could see a surge in innovation in the crypto space.
Like what kind of innovation are we talking about specifically?
Well, imagine more efficient government processes, for example.
Okay.
Secure voting systems, maybe.
Interesting.
Greater transparency in campaign financing. Those are just a few potential applications of blockchain technology.
Those are some pretty significant benefits.
But, of course, there's a flip side as well.
What are some of the risks?
Well, the potential for abuse of power is a major concern.
We've already talked about the possibility of leaders enacting policies that favor their own crypto holdings.
Right. And that could lead to personal gain at the expense of the public good.
Are there other potential downsides?
Imagine the possibility of manipulating markets using these cryptocurrencies.
Oh, wow.
Controlling information flow. Even silencing dissent.
That sounds pretty dystopian.
It's a scenario we need to be aware of and guard against.
It seems like finding the right balance is going to be crucial.
Absolutely. We need to harness the benefits of this technology while also putting safeguards in place to mitigate the risks.
And that's where regulation comes in.
But how do you effectively regulate a decentralized system like cryptocurrency?
Especially when it becomes intertwined with political power.
It's a challenge that regulators worldwide are grappling with right now.
And it's not just about regulating traditional cryptocurrencies anymore.
Now we have political figures issuing their own coins.
Which adds a whole other layer of complexity.
One of the biggest hurdles is the decentralized nature of these systems.
Right, they don't operate within the traditional confines of national borders or financial institutions.
Which makes enforcement incredibly difficult.
So we need a new framework for thinking about regulation in this digital age.
Exactly. We need to adapt our approaches and develop new tools to address these challenges.
Now, you mentioned earlier that there's not just one version of Trump coin out there.
That's right. In addition to the one on the Solana blockchain, there's an Ethereum-based version called Mago.
And it trades under the ticker symbol Trump on decentralized exchanges like Uniswap V2.
Correct.
And I've also read reports of Trump coin on the Binance Smart Chain.
You mean BSC?
Yeah, which allows for trading on platforms like PancakeSwap V3.
It just goes to show how rapidly the crypto world is evolving and fragmenting.
So what does all this mean for the average person listening right now? Should they be rushing out to buy Trump coin?
That's a personal decision that requires careful consideration.
What are some things people should keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, remember that the crypto market is incredibly volatile.
Especially when it comes to meme coins.
Exactly. They're driven by hype and speculation. Their value can swing wildly in both directions.
So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Absolutely not. It's essential to do your research and understand the risks involved.
You should never invest more than you can afford to lose.
And it's not just about potential financial gains.
This is also an opportunity to learn.
To learn about blockchain technology, decentralized finance, and the broader implications of cryptocurrency for our society.
It's about becoming informed participants in this evolving digital landscape.
Rather than passive observers.
And that brings us to the broader societal implications. Regardless of whether you choose to invest in Trump coin,
the rise of these digital assets is a sign of a fundamental shift.
In the way we think about money, value, power.
It's like a wake-up call.
Urging us to pay attention to these developments and engage in thoughtful conversations about how this technology will shape our future.
We can't just bury our heads in the sand and pretend it's not happening.
So what are some of the big questions we should be asking ourselves?
What is the role of cryptocurrency in our political systems, in our economies, in our daily lives?
Who benefits from these systems?
What are the potential risks and rewards?
How do we ensure transparency, accountability, and ethical governance in this new digital frontier?
These are complex questions with no easy answers.
But they're questions we need to be asking.
And that's what we try to do here on The Deep Dive.
We want to spark curiosity, encourage critical thinking, equip you with the knowledge and tools to navigate this complex and rapidly changing world.
And on that note, I'd like to leave our listeners with this thought. The rise of Trump coin is just one example of how technology is disrupting traditional power structures. It's creating new avenues for wealth creation, political influence, and social change.
So the question is, what role will you play in shaping this future?
Will you be an informed participant, a passive observer, or perhaps even a catalyst for change?
The choice is yours.
The choice really is yours.
It is, and that's a powerful thought to consider as we wrap up this deep dive into Trump coin. We've talked about the technology, the potential benefits and risks, the ethical concerns, and the broader societal implications. But now as I bring it back to our listeners, what does all of this mean for them on a practical level?
Well, I think the emergence of Trump coin and other politically backed cryptocurrencies presents both opportunities and risks for individuals.
Let's start with the opportunities.
Okay, so for those who are interested in engaging with this new crypto landscape, there is potential for financial gain.
Especially for early adopters.
Right. If a particular coin gains traction and its value increases, early investors could see significant returns.
But as we've discussed, there are also risks involved.
Absolutely. The crypto market is known for its volatility.
And meme coins are particularly susceptible to hype cycles and pump and dump schemes.
Exactly. So it's crucial to do your research.
This is a lot to process. It feels like we're standing at the edge of something huge, but we can't see what's on the other side.
We're in uncharted waters. The rules are being made as we go. The important thing is that we stay informed and think critically about the information we receive and demand transparency from our leaders.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious.
Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast.